opportunity to express my particular gratitude to you all for the great honor of addressing this joint meeting of Congress. And on behalf of the Queen and myself, to thank the American people for welcoming us to the United States to mark this semi-quincentennial year of the Declaration of Independence. And for all of that time,
nope, we're not done yet.
aren't you lucky?
You gotta love it. Let's just cut that down. How awesome was that? That and the fact that when he's showing up, now I didn't see the whole thing, but it appeared to me, and maybe I'll play it in a little bit, that it looked like they were playing the national anthem of the United States as he pulled in there. But I did really enjoy the long standing ovation that they gave him here. And it's very interesting because later on he talks about, we're here in the spirit of 1776. And I'm like, yeah, when we took off from you jagoffs, like, right? Isn't that what happened? And you're over here helping us celebrate us escaping from you? So I thought that was funny. But in any event, guys, just a little funny opener here. And as we have been making this a normal, regular thing here on Tuesday, I have Ghost and Friends. We're just going to label this for now. And we'll bring in Mr. Ghost, and we got Mike, and we have Armando, and we have a new addition today, Mr. Jeff Davis as well, which we will bring in as well. But Mr. Ghost, sir, how are you? How's the week going? What's up?
I am fine. How are you? It's been a wonderful week. No, I'm glad to be here as always.
Absolutely. And of course, we got Mr. Mike in the house, who Armando lovingly calls Doc Mike. But we got Mr. Mike here as well. How's it going today, Mike? Hope everything's going well for you. And obviously, we all keep the prayers up for Renee and hoping and praying, she has a good recovery there. But how you doing today, brother?
Yeah, doing well. Yeah, just a nice, relaxing day today and getting a couple tasks done. Got them done for work and now here and nice outside. Can't complain about the weather outside. So it's a nice, perfect Tuesday.
Heck yeah. So Armando's here as well. And I will let you introduce Jeff because, and actually let me pull you guys onto the screen a little bit here. And so that way you guys are those people that like to show your face, you weirdos that like to show your face. No, just kidding. But we got Mr. Armando here. How's it going today, brother? And let me just make sure you guys are on the screen perfectly there. But there you go. How's it going,
good? Doing good, brother. Thanks for having us back on again. And hello to everyone in the chat. I know a lot of the people in the chat here came over from Jeff. If Jeff is on Thoughtcast over here, right here on Rumble. So make sure you go over there and show him some love, man. That would be great. Known Jeff for a very, very long time. We're family, basically. He and my kids went to school together and stuff like that, along with his wife, Keegan. And funny as it be, Keegan is a follower of Spaceshot's Roundtable. And funny story. Nice. Well, Jeff, go ahead. You tell the story. You tell it better than I do. So go ahead.
Yeah. No, absolutely. It's funny because I don't want to go all the way back to the beginning, so I'll just get to that part of the story. So okay. Keegan starts following these guys, News Treason and Rambo and Joe Rambo. And so she starts watching this round table that they have with some of their other people and Spaceshot's on it. And so she'll just have that going. And then I finish up and I come out and I go to play a video game or something. And she just has her Chromebook set up. And then, so that's there playing News Treason or Joe Rambo or something. I'm playing a game. She's playing a game. And I look over and Spaceshot's talking. And then there's just Armando's face in the middle of the screen. And I was like, why is Armando there? What? In the round table. And so Spaceshot had been sharing a clip from his show. So that was the connection that then, got over to the round table. But I was like,
that's hilarious.
What? Why is Armando here? What's going on? And so I called him later. I was like, did you know that you're being referenced on this show that's multi-streamed all over the place on all these channels and stuff. And he had no idea, which was funny. And I told him that I actually had something from my neck of the woods that I thought might be really juicy to you if I could pass the information. And then at that point, he told me, perhaps I could just give it to you myself. So, we'll see if that works out.
Awesome. And welcome on in, brother. That's hilarious. And yeah, we absolutely try to share each other, across, good people try to share with good people, right? And that's what I always try to do. And Joe Rambo's things, and I'll probably butcher the saying, but it's rising tides lift all boats, I believe it is. Something like that.
I think you got it. Yeah, that's
something
it.
along those lines. But yeah, that's the roundtable on Thursday, 2 p.m. Eastern. They got a great following over there. Joe, Rambo and Friends, that's the show, and Dave from News Treason, and usually have Tron, and then my buddy Matrix Codebreaker, and Belushi as well. So yeah, lots of fun over there. But guys, I got one more fun for you, and then then I'll stop it with the funnies, and the fun stuff.
Well, I've got to tell you something before we begin.
Go right ahead, brother.
You remember we got on the thing about JFK Jr.
Oh yeah.
The other day. Well, I did. I made a few calls and then I got some information in. And ladies and gentlemen, Spaceshot is JFK Jr.
I didn't want to tell.
Okay.
Wait, we weren't supposed to say that until 4th of July.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just so excited to find out that you were JFK, not me.
Oh my goodness.
Settled forever.
Good. Well, that's the funny thing too. It's like, I mean, it would be the
I
absolute
wanted
cherry
to
on
lay
top.
that on you because I know you're going, oh God, now I'm going to get emails.
Oh, we love it. Oh, we used to have channels that would come over and start calling me. I forgot the other name. It was just somebody else's name. Like, oh, great show, whatever. And we even made like a T-shirt about it. Like, my name's not Isaac. That's what it was. They kept calling me Isaac. I'm like, okay, but it's just stupid, funny stuff. But I love all that stuff. And again, I don't know why they never had a interview, or rather a series or a movie about the passing of JFK Jr. until like 15, 16, 17 years after his death. But then in record fashion, there's like, oh, there's a series, there's a movie, there's another series, there's another movie. And, we discussed the oddities around his death as well. So, it would be great if he was hiding somewhere. I would absolutely love it. It would be the ultimate cherry on the top of the cake because remember, he was friends with Trump.
You can stop the act. We all know now.
I hate to put a kibosh in that one, Ghost, but I would be really good because I know I would be really good because I did do a video years ago, and the name of that video was or is JFK Jr. Q. So. But all right, so let's get into some more funnies because we're all laughing it up and having some fun. But I thought of this, and did you guys hear him? Thank you for having the Queen and I. Oh, you're the Queen now. Oh, okay. Because I thought you were just some. All right, I won't say it.
No.
Hold on. Hold on.
Nice.
Welcome in, Mr. Oh wait, that's not the right one. So again, I just thought it was really funny that he's coming here to help us celebrate, us escaping them. And I was just wondering how the hell he's going to tailor that. But, we're here in the spirit of 1776. And, I'm just like, yeah, we ran from you guys. And, my mother made a speech in 91. She was honored as well. So guys, don't know really what you guys wanted to talk about today in particular, but I do have a couple of interesting ones that I can maybe start us with. And I just reposted this a little while ago, and I'm going to let this one play for the folks. This is our favorite CNN. And just remember, yes, you can get information off of CNN, but here we go.
We do. I'm looking at this docket, Casey, as the prosecutors are putting different things in there. And there's an arrest warrant that is in the docket for James Comey. I was able to see it through the court's system, and it says that the marshals are being asked to both provide Comey with the indictment, and they are issuing an arrest warrant. We don't know what that means, but I will say, as far as the docket goes, it's a very different thing than how this played out in the Eastern District of Virginia when Comey was indicted there on the perjury count. A summons was issued instead, so that would be a direct missive to Comey to say it's time to appear in court, to face this charge on said day. That's a bit of a different thing. But Casey, this is a very fluid situation given that we are just getting court documents in one at a time. I am able to see the warrant request from the Justice Department potentially escalating things in a way that they hadn't with the Eastern District of Virginia perjury case previously against Comey that was dismissed. But I'm going to keep watching here to see how else this plays out.
Caitlin, can I?
Ooh, so this one is stemming, and as you guys can see, it says the defendant James Bryan Comey Jr. did knowingly and willfully, which knowingly is a big repeat in the old team list there, knowingly and willfully make a threat to take the life of and to inflict bodily harm upon the President of the United States, in that he publicly posted a photograph on the internet social media site Instagram, which depicted seashells arranged in a pattern making out 8647, which a reasonable recipient who was familiar with the circumstances would interpret as a serious expression of an intent to do harm to the President of the United States. Interesting. United States Code, Section 871A. What do you guys think? I mean, can they use the whole, well, you know, it was just some seashells, but we obviously know 86 means to remove, and 47 obviously was the current president number. And of course, they're going to probably try to play dumb and try to play lawfare. So who wants to take a stab at the first comment?
I'd love to jump in just really quickly because it's probably opposite of all of you guys. I think this is a really weak thing for them to go after because there's a giant line of merchandise that is 8646 in reference to Biden. So like you could get t-shirts, there's all kinds of stuff that's been pushed out there. And I totally understand most of the context of that is like a restaurant, like get him out. We're out of Biden. We're done with Biden. And then Comey was the FBI. So 8 miles out, 6 feet deep, the mafia talk of it. But I just think they could do a lot better than that with regards to Comey.
Yeah, that was my concern, that they could just do the lawfare thing and just say, well, it was just some seashells, you know what I mean? I just came upon it, I didn't make it, and I just posted it. But let me, before the next person pulls into the comment, I put in here, and those of you that know, if you know, you know, James 8 Corny, and I said that on purpose, 8, the number 8 in corn, like corn E. All right, James 8 Corny, if you know, you know, a.k.a. James B. Comey, Mr. 8647, also has an active arrest warrant. And so if you guys remember, when you go and look up stuff for James Comey, if you're looking to FOIA any information about him, you're going to be hard-pressed to find any information or most information about James B. Comey. But what they did was, for some reason, they filed his name under James 8 Corny. So those would be the names. So that would be actually the name that you would want to FOIA if you're looking up any information for former Director Comey there. So anybody else have a comment on this one?
Yeah, if the seashells won't work, why not just bring up Oklahoma City? Oops, did I say that? Sorry.
Ooh, I mean, I've touched on that, I've touched on that a little bit here and there, and I just don't have any, solid proof. But the story was, I heard years ago that they were saying that the tall second man that has been reported eerily looks like James B. Comey there. And, he may have been part of that. But again, I have nothing, to back it with of substance. So I don't know how far we can take that, but that has been alleged for years. Ghost or Mike, you want to make any comments on this one?
Is that what they're trying to? Is that what they're bringing up on charges, or just that image?
Just on this one, yes. So on this particular filing, it is the 8647, which I agree with Jeff. I think it's a little, not that
I'm saying it might be hard to. It seems weak,
right?
and I'm sure there's it's either part of a tactic or someone's going to come back from harder. You've got to.
Yeah, and this isn't the only show in town apparently either. And I don't know where they did the Eastern District of North Carolina. What the heck? Let me look at this again here.
We do.
Here we go. Eastern Division of North Carolina.
That's odd.
weird, right? Where was he when he did was he on vacation? I wonder if he was like on the beach in North Carolina when he did that, because you generally have to do it, where the crime was committed or in that area. I don't know where he was when it was happening.
But when they say stuff like that, it might be just, the same legal disability they do with everyone else and do with each other now. I don't think it's going to mean much, just that. We'll see. There could be, he could have said something to someone. He could have, there could be any number of things that happen with it, but I think it's awful weak, to say the least.
I would agree on that. As much as I would, and I still wouldn't mind to see a perp walk. You know what I mean? I still wouldn't mind to see him get wrapped up. Unlike, not unlike what they did to President Trump, during, or his people during that, whatever we want to call what we dealt with under Biden there. But as we do know, too, we got other ones going out with Comey in the Southern District. And I thought it was a little weird that they're having the people actually go to the grand jury and actually testify in front of the grand jury. And this is, I'm not a lawyer, but as far as I understand it, they even said in the article that I brought up the other day, which was generally what they would do is they would have one of the law enforcement would take his testimony that he swears under oath, and then they would bring that to the grand jury. But for some reason, they're actually having the people go there, and they're talking about cooperating witnesses as well. That we were told, quite a long time ago that, was it Priestap, Stroke, Lisa Page, I think there was one more, Michael Corton, I believe it was, that he was also going to be testifying, or cooperating as well, along with these people.
Can you zoom in on the picture of the sand where the seashell's at?
Can I find the seashell one? Yeah, absolutely. I can get it for you.
Yeah, the picture of it.
Yep, let me grab that for you here in just 1 second. And somebody else was going to say something as well while I pull up that seashell? Comey, was it Mike or Ghost was going to say something there? It sounded like. Seashell.
I was just going to say it could build into something else. This is
Comey responds to indictment, and this one's September 25th. That's an old one. All right, so here it looks like Chicago Ray has got it. So
if you're,
so that's not
zoom in on that picture if you can.
About as best as I can do right there. Trying to see if there's anything in the sand above it.
It is. There's very little.
No, here's the thing. If it was North Carolina, if it's North Carolina and it's on the Atlantic side, I know because I used to live in Florida, and the sand on the Atlantic side is very, very coarse as far as grain is concerned. The sand that's on the Gulf Coast of Florida is powderish like this one.
Interesting. Interesting person in the chat there, John J. Johnson, says, to me it signals Comey may have talked. I remember, who was it, Trey Gowdy back in the day, and I can't remember, and I keep forgetting, he said history's going to look far better on, I could have sworn he said James Comey than John Brennan. I'm pretty sure that's the one it was. Let's see. Barn Evil says, Justice Department attorneys sought the indictment in the Eastern District of North Carolina, where Comey has a beach house and where he posted the beach scene photo. Thank you very much for that, Barn Evil. I appreciate it. Now, guys, this is, I don't know if I can find a better, I know I have it here, but the video of when the guy tried to get past and tried to, get after President Trump there, do you guys find anything weird about how he just seemingly ran down the hallway, but nobody seemed to notice this guy? And then we got all sorts of really weird stuff about him, that basically this one guy, which I will pull up in 1 second here. Did you guys see the post from Henry Martinez, who, again, I don't know if we want to go down that road, but apparently he was connected to NASA in some way, shape, or form. But he posted this guy's name of the shooter back in like 2023. And then you have to look at the header of his, which I can actually, instead of looking through my stupid notes, I think I have it right here. Basically, I posted this out the other day. Bree had found it and sent it over pretty early on. So this right here. So this guy, his only post that he made is Cole Allen, the name of the shooter. 56 million views. My goodness. Had like 100,000 the other day. Now, look at his background. And some people are trying to say, what's that called? Pareidoia, or whatever, where you look at things and it might look like something. Well,
Rorschach.
well, yeah, not yet. Well, you know what I mean? Like people say, oh, that rock formation looks like
It's pareidoia.
Para something. But so basically somebody took the image of the fight President Trump, and like say right around here is like the eyeball. And they messed with the opacity and kept going back and forth. And while it did look very similar to it, I don't know. But like, again, like I got all sorts of weird stuff. It says in 2014, NASA published a paper, and this guy, or I'm not going to say it's this guy, but a guy named Henry Martinez was an author, and he was a chief engineer at Lockheed Martin. So I can actually pull up this post here, Brian Romilly. These are some of the ones I did the other day, but I just wanted to bring you guys in to see if there's anything you guys wanted to add to this. But apparently added modeling capabilities for planets around several previously excluded stars, updated the most recent version of the model. What else? So Lockheed Martin. Cole Allen, Allen intern there. They have another thing of him in 2017 where he did some invention for a wheelchair or something like that. So, but what do you guys think about, I mean, we had right before, we had Carolyn Levitt says, oh, there's going to be, President Trump's going to be true to form tonight. There's going to be shots fired. What? Going to be shots fired, right? And so some people are saying that this thing looked like it was basically set up, right? And I can't really, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think?
They took that out of context because, which, in my opinion, I think that what she meant by there's going to be shots fired. Trump's always taking shots at the media, pointing his finger, going, fake news, you people in the back, you're disgusting, fake news, blah, blah, blah. And I think that was going to happen with them, calling out the fake news and pointing fingers. They were going to be taking shots back and forth. I mean, the leadership of the news conference there, the Asian lady, after everything happened, she came back on board and she said, he is going to do a press conference, and this and that, and everybody starts laughing. He goes, no, that was not a joke. So. You see where that stems from. Now, I get it if you put your tinfoil hat on. Oh, there's going to be shots fired. That's going to get taken out of context. It's just par for the course.
Yeah.
That'd be something common said at a roast, I would think.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you know what else I didn't like, guys? I didn't like the fact that, if you guys notice, it's kind of zoomed in here. By this time, pretty sure JD Vance, is this him? No, he's already gone, isn't he?
No.
They yanked him. Look. So
they yanked him out before Trump was gone.
That's what I'm saying. So yeah, exactly. So like right in the very beginning when they came out, and so people said, well, each of these people have their own, and Melania looks genuinely frightened, right? And he's got a look on his face like, I have the image over here. It's like, first time, like I've been here before, but she looks genuinely frightened. She does too. I don't know. And then he looks scared as well. But a lot of people had mentioned, like, dude, they came in and grabbed JD by the scruff of his suit and yanked him up, and he was off the table, gone by, like, right here. I think you're seeing the ass end of his people take him off over here. And then, President Trump just sitting there for, what, 11? We're at 11 seconds here. All right. And then take another, then he maybe takes a fall there, another 5 or 6 seconds until he's gone. But it's like, a lot of people were commenting that maybe they should have taken him out, first.
Well, Trump kept saying, wait, to the Secret Service people and to anybody around him. Just wait. I don't think he was, he was probably like, oh, here we go again. They'll get him before he gets here. Just wait. No, he was saying, though, just hold on a minute. And I think JD would pooped his pants a little bit, and they got him out of there. So wouldn't be embarrassing that way. Everything all's well and ends well. I just don't get it. I don't know what to make of it. Could be somebody whose brains was scrambled once and they just scrambled them up again and said, hey, you're going to do this. And he went and did it. Or just a wackadoodle. Another one. It's not like a certain segment of society isn't out there saying, all these videos I saw, it was disgusting. Will somebody just do it? That kind of nonsense. And, that you're looking at that and going, are you kidding me? We have a generation of children. They're not growing up. They're children.
You see somebody sprinting. You see somebody sprinting like that, especially not the Secret Service guy that bent over. Look at the lower left-hand corner of your screen. Okay, look right there. The guy's in black. You're going to tell me that they missed this guy sprinting across, brandishing a firearm, and they did nothing? He'd be smoked if it was a seasoned security person or what? Right there, he would have got taken out right.
Well, he would have been laid out somewhere.
Oh
Yeah, that's the problem I had with it was like, wait, so, as we start here, all right, this guy's maybe looking at them. He can't really see. Well, we can't really see here because apparently they filmed this thing with a friggin' a potato. I don't know, but apparently
I just love how blurry it is.
Yeah, right? It's like, yeah, can we make it like, can we take down the friggin' the pixels a little bit more? But yeah, there's a corner here apparently, and he bolted around the corner. So I mean, I'm not a security guy.
It's got like a fisheye. It's got like the whole hallway kind of.
Yeah, all right. And so whatever it does, it looks like he was almost at full speed here. But this person is facing this, and whether, it looks like a she is talking to this guy or not or whatever, it really didn't sit well with me how this guy was able to just run right past these guys here. So as you're going to see him right here, came around the stairs, ding, 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 ding. And it's like, wait, where? So he comes into frame right here.
It's not that many steps.
Right there.
I think the camera makes it look 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh, okay.
He came busting out of the stairwell pretty fast. And you can see about 6, 7 steps. And he didn't look like he was a slow runner to begin with. So you see when he came in,
yeah,
he could have caught these guys off guard because it really isn't that far away. The lens is making it look that way.
That's a Honeywell security camera from 1968.
Dude, seriously, what's up with that?
Right. And so here's it at 0.25 speed. But to your point, and actually it's a good point, Ghost, because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's like 8 steps from him to be right here to like right here. So
yeah, so it's maybe like 30, 40 feet somewhere in between there. And he looked like he was motivated to get away from them.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Because it really isn't that many steps from when he breaks that doorway. But
unreal.
There, see, it really isn't that far. He was booking.
You know what's funny too? You have the Secret Service gal from Butler that didn't even know how to holster her Glock.
Yes.
She was involved in that too. Why is she still on the job?
Coffee and donuts.
There you go. Look.
Wow.
Oh, put the stupid music away. They ruin this stuff with the music. Here, take my hand. Oh no, he kissed my ring. And guys, I'll preempt Ghost's lewd.
We finally won the war. Okay.
Hell yeah.
He's admitting to it now. He's like, you're pulling out of our banking system. We're all going to die over there. The president says, well, that's not my problem.
Exactly. And so I will preempt. I will try to preempt Ghost's lewdness with my own lewdness toned down a little bit here. So I will.
Lewd?
I'm gonna. No. But the question I'm about to ask you would be.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So I was gonna say a lot of people would say too, like, how the hell? Why would he get rid of her? Get rid of Princess Diana for this one? And my lewd way of saying it nicely was, perhaps she can suck start a leaf blower, and so that's about the only thing I could think of. But yeah, I mean, Princess
No,
Diana.
actually, they took her on a tour of their aircraft where they had the tornado. She started a tornado. He was in love
Yeah, well,
from
apparently,
that moment on.
and
Many a year ago. I don't know what the deal is with these two. I mean, it's like,
the Queen.
yeah, you had Diana, and you could have just relaxed and realized you had nothing to fucking worry about the rest of your life, Chuck. And oh my God, yeah, you guys killed her. You killed that poor young woman, and the rest is history. I don't know what is in. I have no comment.
Yeah, I mean, it's a bad
Fuck
thing.
that. They've got their dirt like everybody else. And think about it, if you were a family under a microscope like that, how ridiculous that would be. And you've got all these traditions you've got to uphold, and your little. He's probably in every secret society in the whole country. So there's like, oh, what's tonight's meeting? Bloody hell! And
bloody
and
hell.
bloody hell. And she's, oh, you must go. You're the king. And I just don't know what it's like there, and I don't want to. Yes, they have good tea every day at 4. Big deal. I'm trying to be serious here about it, but it's actually like, no, we're gonna finally win the Revolutionary War and get out from under your banking system that you kept out of the country for a good 50 years. And that's a fascinating journey through history, by the way, for people to go down that road and see from the very beginning what everyone was saying about the central banking system, and then what would happen if it happened. And I mean, Jefferson made a comment to the effect that we'll all wake up on the continent our forefathers shed their blood for, and basically no one will own anything. And he says that. And what has been the fear trope as of the last few years? We're going to take all your properties and you won't be able to afford them and you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. No. It's like if you try to pull it in one way, it's going to get nasty, and everybody knows it. I don't have to, it's not me saying it. I'm just pointing out the obvious. And if it does, then okay, we're moving where we should be. And him being here now is interesting because Starmer is what a
He's done.
buffoon. Oh God, yeah, he's getting ready to resign.
He's
But
done.
he should. I mean, he played his little part in their little minstrel show over there in England, and it's all coming to a head, and we can break it down further as the show goes on. But what's done in Iran right now, and what will be done in another little country right off our little southern border, has to be done, will be done. I've said it a million times. And I think when those are more in line, that's when you're going to start seeing what's on tap for the 4th. And you're going to,
You want to bring up a good one?
I think it's just going to be an interesting turn of events over the next 60 days. But yeah, go ahead.
EAU pulled out of OPEC today.
What?
Who did?
EAU
UAE.
or UAE, sorry.
Well, that's interesting, isn't it?
Really?
They pulled out of OPEC. They're done.
Oof.
Starts the 1st, May 1st.
So we're seeing a lot of orders being turned on their head or weakened. NATO, the UN, of course, that's got to go. from our perspective. The rest of the world, you can keep it if you want. But although I think you're going to see the big boys jumping off of it, it only makes sense to do that.
That's huge.
Because that's what you're going to need to counter what global banking structure will be going down and the other one that will replace it and phase it out in time. The current structure will be phased out in time. And that's why, well, hey, IRS, people are worrying less and less about you. And they should, because once that is pulled, then the collection arm for it is. And it all goes forward with different formulas and much more efficient ways of doing things. And there's where AI does come in to help. So there's so much that is poised to shift, not only on from the usual or the neocon order of the, let's say, the post Cold War order. All of that was just trying to be a continuation of what was prior. And what everyone is really seeing when it comes to Ukraine, when it comes to Venezuela, when it comes to Iran, when it comes to actually several other nations coming up, it's clearing the playing field of all the garbage and the ways in which the opposition that Charles does represent to a degree in his being here. And, you know, when you see memes like the one come out with the president wearing the robes and all the nonsense, it's making a point. And it's not saying that it's Charles' fault. No, he inherited this. He walked into it. And if his son is going to have a genetic gig paid for at least $50 million a year from the British people, well, they should at least get their money's worth. But it won't be the same or what it was being planned for in a lot of ways. Just leave it at that.
Well, you brought up Besant, and, you know, guys, I don't know that we talked about it on this show because you brought up the Besant and IRS, but he had mentioned the other day, or maybe a couple of weeks ago now, I thought it was pretty weird about, you know, the head of the Treasury telling everybody, you know, if you just change your withholding, you can actually get more money take home now. And Armando, wait, I'm thinking, though, but if I do that, I'll have to pay more money next year, wouldn't I? That's weird, right?
I don't know.
No, you might not be next year. You never know with things these days. My goodness.
Right. There
Oh,
we
goodness
go.
gracious. No, you really don't. You don't know what's going to be around next year. Did anyone think that after the first of the year there would be the Board of Peace and that Putin would jump on and dump in $1 billion to begin with after obviously the president and it was Rubio actually created that. And yes, it lawfully does undermine the UN. And the UN is something that needs to be undermined because all of these years, and anyone can look back at it now and say, oh, yeah, that's what it was. It was a huge international braking system. It was just a means of keeping certain nations in their lanes. And then others would say, no, we're not going to do that, huh? And everybody got all puffed up. But none of it really meant anything to begin with. A treaty or an act is only as good as both parties or all parties to the treaty or the, let's say, the act that is adopted internationally. It's only as good as the parties' willingness to abide by it. And if you were going to get something like the Abraham Accords in a region of the world that's now showing self-determination, UAE dropping out of OPEC, that's them saying, well, we'd like to negotiate our own prices. We don't want to fall under an agreed to. Again, did they break their Did they step out of the treaty on their own prematurely because they felt their grievances weren't being redressed in the treaty, and they said, "Well, we're done. That's it. We're just not going to do it." And that's sovereign law. Okay, that's how it happens at that level. You sit down and you say to somebody, look, you can screw me over all day long and I can screw you over all day long. But what we're going to do is we're going to work out something that's mutually beneficial and does not get stupid."
Absolutely.
And also then trickles into the world economy. And then they engage in it. Okay, but again, it's like any contract. As a slave, you get to, and you own a corporation and you go up against another corporation. You're both slave corporations. Make no mistake about it. Your grievances will be heard in a bar administered court of law. So it's all already designed to not win or lose, but just get the best outcome based on who can prove the most, not who is right or wrong. It never is really right or wrong. But the bottom line with all that I'm saying is you're seeing that from that level. They're saying, no, we don't want to do it. And I'm sure, and again, you're only as good as your handshake in those things. So what long-term detriment there is, that remains to be seen. That's something that's got to be looked at from many different angles. But many of the older orders are breaking down. And if you're going to have success with the Abraham Accords for what their real intention was, yes, then certain problem children have to be knocked out of the way. Iran was one of them. And those who were thinking of being more so, such as Yemen, kind of calmed down a little bit.
That's good. I got a good little short video for you here. I want to set up very short. It's less than 20 seconds, but I think Mr. Macron here is shading towards what I had been thinking for quite some time here.
First, we should not underestimate that this is a unique moment where a US president, a Russian president, a Chinese president are dead against the Europeans. So this is the right moment for us.
What? So I had been postulating for quite some time, and due to the drops specifically, that perhaps maybe Putin and Trump and Xi may be doing something behind the scenes together. Now, I don't think he means that exactly, but he did say they're all dead against. Ooh, please correct me.
You see, there's not just, okay, there's the United States and there's Russia and there's China. And then they got, MSS, FSB, and KGB, always going back to that old KGB stuff. FSB and CIA, they're your primaries, right? You get a whole bunch of little baby ones around and doing all kinds of great things. Now, that's one level. But when you go up to where it really counts, where the trillions are flowing, that's another level. Okay? All the rest, including Intel, are down in that lower part of that, let's say, pyramid, so to speak, pyramids within pyramids. They're down. When you're getting to those top 6, 7 layers, 8 layers, you're talking about money. Each layer, each time it reverses, it's from what you would look at it and observe a let's say a ready intent of that layer. At the highest layers, where it comes down to cash flowing without all the ridiculous parasitic nonsense that's been thrown on it, by law and international law by extrapolation also with that. China, Russia, United States, and India all serve the same banking master. Now there might be different parts of it in different countries, but that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant because those who own it are supranational. All right, and your Rockefellers and your Rothschilds, they're actually your mid-level wealthy people there, and they're worth in the trillions. You know, when you have 4,000 plus trusts covering all of your wealth and holdings, you don't want it out there to the public. Well, quite naturally, you wouldn't, because you wouldn't want them seeing that, you know, your Bill Gateses and your Elon Musks they just are right down there on the old tax farm with you. They just have bigger stalls. Matter of fact, they built a farm for some of these people, and you're in the farm next, and the only thing separating you is a fence. Okay? They're in the same boat you are. When you get above a certain layer that we discussed, that I mentioned earlier, you're talking about the world monetary flow. Doesn't matter what the denomination. Those conversions are made in less than a 100 billionth of a second. Bottom line is that traditional group of, let's say, 500 years of solid banking is now being threatened with a change, not only a change, but a nation standing back up on their feet and saying, yes, we are a sovereign nation. As sovereign as any of you individual wonks who are sovereign in this world and who are trying to stop this. And then your allied families in the black nobility and a number of other locations around the planet. Again, the names you don't know, but you should know in the coming years. Maybe, maybe not. Maybe they'll be able to buy their way into a peaceful situation. But this is, it's a lot of agreement, a lot of disagreement, and a lot of reshuffling. And that's what we're going through. Because if we're not, the human race is fucked.
You know, and that's a big word too, Ghost, that with President Trump's, you know, we hear people talking about, you know, want to let these sovereign nations, you know, work peaceably together with each other, right? And I look at that very much like the whole capital letter spelling type of situation. You know what I mean? Like the whole sovereign nation or sovereign individual, right? And versus the banking, I guess.
There are two types of people on the planet.
Yep.
There are sovereign and there are citizens. There's nothing else in between. There are no sovereign citizens of any country.
They're just sovereign.
If you're sovereign, by your nature, King Charles is not a citizen, or a subject is the proper term in their system. A subject. He is the reigning monarch. The reigning monarch is just one sovereign among many, depending on your title. That of the knight, no, you're not sovereign unless you know how to go about being sovereign. A lord, yes, you are. Some are born into it. That needs to end. It should be people that know their stuff and are then brought into it, if you're going to have that system. But there are only two types of people on the entire planet. Sovereign, which means you have a passport like everyone else, except yours won't get you detained at any port of call, so to speak, or port of passage. Won't get you detained, and you won't have to, your tax per queue, meaning all your taxes are assumed paid for life, because just like you and them, everyone in the sound of my voice, certain things happened upon the day of their birth. And then the real monetary system works on that. And we're not going to go into that today. That's too big of a subject. But I'm saying all this to say that him being here works on so many different levels. And that's wonderful. I guess he's not going to be here for the big festivities. But if you were going to work something out with that country, this day and age now, that king is basically in the same boat that most people are. They have been, at the time of the let's say the time of demarcation between what was and what is was a Battle of Waterloo, when reports were being brought back by spies from the field that were reporting the opposite, that the Brits were losing the battle, which wasn't the case. That caused the markets to flatten in London. A particular family came along and bought every bond, everything they could on pennies on the dollar, and the next day owned the money supply for that country. It had already been done in France, and it was done in other countries, including this one. Now, later, in a later time frame, following the Civil War. So when you see him here, you can affix major movements within the monetary system, because the British monarchy does have a role in that, and it was usurped a long time ago. But in the end, he's here, and there are so many things that can be drawn from it. Obviously, hearing what they talk about, but whether that's done or not is irrelevant right at this moment. The bottom line being, we're pulling out. It's Russia's it's in their best interest. They are the only nation in the black right now who doesn't owe a debt. China does, we do, but we all know that it was all Babylonian money magic. This debt, they can pump it to you on the news every night all they want. It means nothing. It means less than nothing. We agreed to engage in commerce based on a set of monetary units and parameters and their positions. That can always change very rapidly, as long as everyone then affixes various aspects with the importance deserved for everything to work. So at a very specific and the most potent level of all on the surface of this planet, how money flows, Russia, India, China, and the United States, we're all in the same boat. Europe wasn't going to admit to that, because all the politicos that are in place in these various countries were put in place by your wefers and those above them. So naturally, they're going to maintain the positions they have been, and you're not going to be able to beat somebody up who stabbed 3 people because of their religious leanings. That's England, for example. This is how insane they had to make it, to get you to keep in fear, a stasis of fear and a stasis of confusion, so that you're not questioning all this money stuff. Because at the end of the day, it's the money stuff at the very tip of the pyramid that matters, not all of the other stuff beneath it. None of that. Only helps maintain a semblance of power. But where the one losing mafia didn't figure was that they were too separate and aloof and too multinational. They couldn't anchor well enough. They've tried. People have died. Things have gone missing. But that will end too. So I'll leave it right there.
There's actually 3 kinds of people.
Ooh.
Citizen, sovereign, and then you have Cubans. Sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Interesting. Well, really quick while I got the mic, let me thank Rose Buddage, who dropped a $20 Rumble rant. Says, thanks for all you guys do. Loving the content. So I do appreciate that. Anybody else want to make any more comments on this? The state of. Well, let's just start with King Charles. King Charles, anyways. Charlie or Chuck, as Ghost says. Jeff, did you want to make any comments on this?
Yeah, sure. One thing that I said when I listened to Trump talk about, he gave that speech talking about, the pride in the heritage that we brought over here from Britain. He said, Christianity and Anglo-Saxon courage, I believe was the terminology he used. And so I thought it was a very interesting slap in the face to the king, because he would never speak about his own country and history that way to his own people. And there's probably millions of people over in the UK that believe that, and then see that Trump is willing to say the white folks, basically. I mean, like he said, the Anglo-Saxon pride or courage, and then the Christian morality. That is not the way that anyone in the West is allowed to talk today. So Trump really killed him with kindness. It is how I felt. I felt it was disrespectful by being so respectful.
I like it. I think Mike's back on too now. Mike, any comments on old Chucky boy here visiting us?
Oh, yeah. I don't know, where do you start with King Charles? I mean,
Don't say shoot him. Don't. No. It's just a joke, everybody. Just a joke. Ha ha ha. See, you got to do that, or otherwise people think you're. You're. Anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry, buddy.
Yeah, no. King Charles is has a lot under his table. He has a lot of secrets, and quite interesting enough, some of those secrets are starting to come out, and you're seeing it with the family. You're seeing it with the royal family, the actual bloodline of the royal family, the history, going back to Diana and going back to him actually not being part of the Windsor family. So there's actually a lot of royalty intel and genealogy that really isn't so, but it's pretty interesting. And oddly enough, it's kind of funny, is I didn't even think about it, forgot that he was coming over. And yesterday, Renee and I were watching The Patriot, and then we get home from doctor appointment today, and then I see on TV that King Charles is coming over today, and I'm just like, that's pretty ironic. So, yeah.
Is Trump related to these people? Because I think we know that, and I'm going to pull up an article, which
if you go on one of those things, you'll find out everybody's the descendant of some king, whether it be
So I think
Saxon, Anglo, or what have you.
With King Charles, it's I believe it's the Badwin family, if I'm saying the correct family.
Mountbatten, I believe.
Yeah, Mountbatten. Thank you.
Mountbatten, but there's also the German side.
Yeah,
that they turned into World War I.
And that's so. If you trace his genealogy back, so the family of the Mountbatten side actually did come from the German side, and you go back further before that. If you go back to King Edward and come up to present day, there's a lot of inconsistencies into it, especially when you get into World War One era. That's where there starts to be a lot of deviant discrepancies that just don't make sense.
When everybody was off to war, somebody else had it in for them. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? From guy talk. No, but seriously, there was a lot of that too in the family.
Yeah.
We know that. What was the one? Oh,
Well, it's like, you know,
his father had a daughter
yeah. Yeah,
aside from the
that's
queen.
what they would. That's
Yeah.
what they would call the. So these people or these individuals of such high, you know, regal capacity, would go around and sleep with commoners, and so they would be blood related to the kings themselves, and but they would be considered illegitimate, bastardized children. So they would have no legal royalty. They would have no privileges to the royal family, money, etc., and they were considered illegitimate children. And so, if you go back to Henry VII, he had a child. He had a male heir, and that child was, you know, put up, you know, politically, and he was not given. He was not given succession to King Henry VII's throne. I think his name, I believe his name was Patrick Fitzroy, and I'll have to double check on it, but it's Patrick Fitzroy, I believe. And there was a lot of speculation on that. King Henry slept around. So a lot of these figureheads slept around with a lot of regular people, you know, creating family out there that's actually is their children, but considered illegitimate. And with the House of Commons, the House of Lords, they are basically shunned, and they are blacklisted into a corner to where they just don't exist, and they will not acknowledge that they, you know, so and so is the father, or part of the family. It's actually interesting history, especially on the genealogy side. If you have ties to, you know, to certain families like this, you start to see the deviance that the how far the royal family will actually go to hide certain children, that are children of a certain prince or a certain king. It's really common. It's more common than people think.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And this visit, very quickly, this
No, you're
visit
good.
fits very neatly with dealings with the Vatican, shall we say lightly.
Ooh. And
This does fit in. You'll see that. It'll come out in the nearness of time.
the nearness, I like it. All right, so something's on the screen here, and I have to address it because, and I maybe like to get all your guys' opinions on this as well. So we see this stuff, you know, whatever, and then I look off to the side here, and I don't know this guy, but this guy's post is, Trump formally replaced King Charles on September 17, 2025. In case nobody was paying attention, they played the YMCA song, which apparently they have a YMCA near the Gitmo. Why do you think they spent $1 billion on the No Kings protest? Okay, that's not my question, but so my question is, I'll lay it out for you guys in a way that you'll get what I'm saying at least here. So there was a somewhat viral video that went out years ago. Somebody put a compilation together, and they called it the Capitulation Tour. Okay, so it was basically right after, remember, President Trump went to Saudi Arabia. And then they had the Saudi Arabian purge, and then he went and visited or whatever. And then by all accounts, MBS got all the money back, or a bunch of money from fraud back from these people, held them in the prison, which ended up was like a Ritz-Carlton 5-star prison, right? So the narrative is, and I don't believe this narrative. I'll tell you what I do believe towards the end here, but. So they basically said, like, oh, Trump, went over to Israel and they capitulated. Then he went over to, Saudi Arabia, and they did the sword dance and they all capitulated. They made him the king. I'm like, all right, so he's the king of England. He runs Israel. Now he's the king of Saudi Arabia. And then he went to this other country and they capitulated. So, all these people went, in my opinion, a little too far over the edge to say, like, now Trump is now the king of Saudi Arabia, king of England, all these other places, the capitulation tour. I don't believe that part of it. The part I do believe
I think they were celebrating they were celebrating what was coming in the opposition.
Okay,
to
yeah.
what they'd all been under.
Yeah, so I don't believe that, Trump's running Saudi Arabia or any of these other countries. However, I
No,
do
of
believe that
course not.
perhaps they
No.
did capitulate in a way that, we're going to
Right.
get on board with what you're doing here or what we are all doing. Because again, I've never, from the beginning, I don't think Trump is, running much of anything. I think he's more of, and this is my opinion, you guys can tell me, what your opinion is or tell me to jump off a bridge. But I feel like President Trump is really like the centerpiece, the ringleader, the ringmaster, whatever you want to call. And there are certain moves and counter moves and all these other things that have been, war gamed to the nth degree and back. That is basically how he's running his situation, like through a team. That's my personal opinion. Now you guys can agree, disagree, whatever you'd like about it. But I don't think he's the king of any country. But that's my opinion.
I think you're pretty much spot on.
Yeah.
He's the public face to a comprehensive set of objectives, agendas, just like the other side has, just like many sides have, except one difference: our agendas are going to prevail for this country.
Heck yeah, I certainly hope so, and it looks that way. Mike, do you want to add anything to that? Sounded like you were going to maybe.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, no, absolutely. I agree to an extent to what you're saying there, and we're in past parallel investigations and operations years back. There with Trump is in that office. You say you submit a you submit a report and your intel report, and it needs to get into the PDB, the Presidential Daily Brief. We would find over 80% of the time that the intel that was supposed to be going up for the PDB for the next morning never made it in, and months later, supervisors had found out that it was through a certain what you would deem a gatekeeper would hold on and harbor that information, and that information would not get to him in time in past years. And so, in that capacity, yeah, I can agree to that because I've witnessed it, and and President Trump in the now has made a lot of turnover to getting rid of people and individuals like that, and so you're not seeing that as common as it was, and I guess you could say in a prior administration. So yeah, I mean that's a little 2 cents on that.
I like it. Armando, Mike, anything on that one? Then we'll go to Jeff.
Sorry. Really quick. And again, nothing secret here if you kind of like read between the lines. So when the, what was it? I'm going to mess this up. The Board of Peace or the Council of Peace?
Yep.
Council?
Board of Peace.
The Board of Peace. Okay. So when the Board of Peace comes into play, right? Immediately the next day, Putin dumps $1 billion into that. First guy, first country to do that. But wait, I thought Putin was the bad guy, right? Okay, let's press on with that. Why is he cleaning up the Western Hemisphere? And who is he getting out of the Western Hemisphere? All our adversaries, right? Russians, the Asians, Iranians, the communist Cubans, all that stuff, right? Canada, look at what's going on in Canada.
Yeah.
Nobody's talking about.
Armenians
right? Talking
too.
about Canada.
Armenians too.
Armenians too. There you go. Right. So if you keep the Easterners in their camp and you keep Russia over here in their camp and everybody else, okay, what's left? The Western Hemisphere. What does Trump do? Divided everything up 3 ways. He is the king of the Western Hemisphere, in my opinion. After it's all said and done, if you bring Greenland in, if you bring in Canada, which is, I think that deal is already done. according to the Canadian Reporter. Look at Central and South America also as well. And this is going to be a timely process. We are going to see things happening here within the next 72 hours. And I'm just going to plug this here real quick. In Cuba, okay? Apparently the negotiations between El Cangrejo, which is Raul's grandson, have basically gone silent. Every pressure that Rubio has had here just recently, he has either walked away and avoided the question on when is Cuba going to get resolved, or he has no comment on that because there's no more negotiations done. So what does that tell you? Well, what it tells me is this. He's not going to say anything else because the next thing that's coming is military action. Okay, in my opinion, right? And they're getting ready for it over there big time. Trust me, right? So you've got the drone that's been flying patterns over the island, collecting intelligence of what's on the ground, troop maneuvers and all that stuff. And that's being fed back up over here. So based on a report that came out a day old today that I just read, okay, the next 72 hours, we'll know something. Either they come to the table and that door is closing really, really fast. They're going to come to the table and come to some sort of agreement, or it's going to be military action. What's the bummer here? The bummer here on my side is this. I think, and it could be another facade. It could be another, six-dimensional chess move. I don't know. I don't have the answer for that. But so far, what I'm reading is this. I think statehood is off the table, and this is going to turn into Venezuela 2.0 down in Cuba. And if that does happen, shit is going to boil over here in America. I'll leave it at that.
Very interesting. Jeff, anything you want to add with this one, brother?
I've always been of the opinion that Donald Trump is like Bruce Wayne. So he's wearing the mask as his persona to the masses, like his MAGA rally persona, some of the trolling, some of that stuff. And I feel like it's a way for him to get people to underestimate him, because whenever you talk to people in his inner circle, they always say, he is the person he is on TV, but he's so much smarter. He's so much more calculated in the way that he's doing stuff than the media, or they're able to frame it. And I just feel like a lot of it is on purpose. Like he's just trying to let them think they have him, and then he pulls a fast one, like over and over again. So they think he's the luckiest guy in the world, but he's just 5 steps ahead. That's my opinion of Trump. So
Well,
I know he's got a great group with him, and a lot of people running the show, but I don't think he's like just a masthead and he's worthless or something like that. I don't think so.
Of course not.
Yeah.
No, President Trump is very ahead of the game. And you want to talk about 5D chess. He's a grandmaster at it. Strategy wise, he sees everything coming from each and every angle. I've had the privilege to work along with his colleagues, with Flynn and other colleagues of his, and when it comes to this stage, and what we're talking about, he's absolutely ahead of everybody, and he's able to predict and outmaneuver most of everybody on that chess table. Absolutely agree with you.
The most brilliant thing he did was he changed the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Without them being able to point to it and saying to him, "Oh, you changed the game." No, if changing the game, and it is this simple when you get into these games that are put in place, they don't have a lot of, let's say, flanking protection to them. But as long as everybody goes along with them, they always work, always have. He's come at it from a point of view where it was, no, screw the UN, start the Board of Peace. I like that idea. Do it. They did it in 3 weeks. Okay.
No, he didn't change the game. He reinvented a new one.
Well, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
You change the game means make a new one.
Yep.
Because if you're going to play the same game for the last 150, 250, 500 years, you can never win.
Nope,
You
can't win.
can't. It's impossible. You have to slowly change it. And when you usurp the UN, when you usurp NATO, you're changing the games that were in town. And when you're changing it to the point to where the Vatican is closing their doors and sealing up everything and saying, no, we're not going to let anybody in for a while, you've already made enough moves to trigger them, which doesn't take much, but they're your canary in a coal mine on the sovereign layer and what's being done. Because at the very pinnacle of that layer, you're sitting in a beautiful, 14,000 square foot villa on the top of Zug. That doesn't do you any good. If your whole game was built on running an edifice on behalf of very large banking consortium families that have been used to getting their way with very old formulas for a long, long time. And what you're seeing now is a complete, he just flipped the whole board off the table and said, well, I wasn't playing this game to begin with. And, people, all right, I made a mistake. I attribute it to the man. No, the man knows what's going on. The man is the right man for the position to handle this kind of, these kinds of shifts, tectonic shifts, globally, geopolitically. And, well, what were the announcements today? How's China getting its oil? From us. We're making sure they get it. We're making sure they deal with their issues that have taken them down internally to a great degree. But at the same time, well, if all of your oil wasn't there, we're so sorry. Shit had to happen. So everybody is being kept, let's say, okay, we're all at this poker table now. Let's take the four main players. No banking structure on the planet. And let's add a fifth and a sixth, because they most definitely belong there. If you look at their books and if you look at what they're doing now, and that's Japan and South Korea. Now that I'm not negating the rest of the British Empire, the Commonwealth, Australia, New Zealand. But we know what New Zealand's about. And Australia, this will be the darkest night of your history.
Really?
I say all that to say that, yeah, there's the much, much larger plan at hand, and it has to do with the very thing that everyone bases their entire lives upon, and that's currency, mammon, money. This is what is the end game with it all. And I know there's a lot of people that are going to jump in there. What about Nasara, Gasara, blah, 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 blah. Okay, that's all well and good. Those are what you'll find in all of that is the best and the ideal intention with the exchange of units of measurement that we call money and commerce. Get that. Extremely important. But there have also been other psyops put out there that were based on transactions that happened in excess of 27 years ago. So be careful of what you're following. Be careful.
Careful who you're following as well.
Well, who if they're jumping in the middle of all that nonsense?
Yeah, exactly. Let me just clarify too my previous statement. I don't want to make it sound like I think Trump's just an idiot, because as you were making your statement, Jeff, I'm like, yeah, it kind of made it sound like he's just an idiot that's doing nothing. That's how I made it sound like. But so yeah, I just don't think he's the guy that's like, oh, okay, throw a couple missiles over here. Did it work? Did it work? Okay.
Right. No.
You know what I mean? Like, but that's how
And
all
this
these
is
other
how they're
people.
trying to portray him.
Exactly.
Right.
And they, to Jeff's point, keep falling for it every time. Oh, look, he made a misspelling over here. Let's go make fun of him. But there's always like messages in his misspellings, which is the funniest part of it. So yeah, you know, while I don't think he's the king of England and stuff, I feel like he's absolutely, to Ghost's point, you know, the perfect guy for the position. And I don't think anybody could have done it nearly as well, especially with all the attacks that's going on. And I'm trying to pull up his post because, to your guys' point as well,
Gunshots don't seem to scare him much these days. It's a good sign.
Jeez,
I
well,
mean, it's sad to say, but my God, you know, look, 3 times publicly.
this one.
Yeah. With Melania's face there is just perfect. Like, he's just like,
Yeah.
this is nothing.
Like, wow, oh my, yeah, and he's like, first time there, honey. I'm trying to look up worse.
Oh, that's right. You're the first time you've been here. Oh, I'm sorry, babe.
The Asian girl looks like she did what is it? Had a Nadler moment right in her pants.
Oh God.
I think she's got some kimchi panties right now, right about there.
And the worst part is, do you guys see her? Like, they all surrounded him as they're supposed to, and then she like just followed them. And then when he fell down, she's like,
Oh,
right.
she was trying to dig her place in underneath. Let me
Yeah.
get behind these big guys with the bulletproof vests. No, lady, you're expendable. You just learned that the hard way in
Yeah.
front of everybody.
I would imagine since she is being pregnant, she's trying to protect her baby too. So
Oh, she is.
What do you
Oh, I
mean,
didn't
the
know that.
Oriental girl?
yeah, I believe she was the one that was
Oh,
pregnant.
she's pregnant? No,
Yeah,
the blonde to the left is pregnant for sure. She's almost ready to
okay,
go.
then it was her.
Yeah.
Okay.
You sure
No,
it
the
wasn't?
Oriental girl was like, let me get out of here. Let me hide under these.
Yeah, no, yeah, I
movement
saw that.
signs."
Might have been the
Yeah.
guy in the middle. I don't know.
He was too busy saying, look at my magic trick.
Yeah, so the guy in the middle is a very famous mentalist, Oz Perlman.
Yeah, the
And-
mentalist.
Yeah, and the Oz Perlman is very, very famous around the world.
Well, he guessed her baby's name. I think
Yeah,
Vivian.
yeah, the
Yeah.
name was Vivian. Yeah, that's what was on
Ended
the
up being
card
correct?
he's holding. Yeah, he was correct.
Crazy. And this I pulled this one up because for some reason Truth Social won't let me search the word reset, and then it pulls up a million. But he posted this one out on April 10th. World's most powerful reset! Exclamation points. President Donald J. Trump. So I was saying this back in his first administration when he signed that huge rebuild the military bill. I was like, is he trying to like crash this system? Because we need to crash this system.
Well, the Q-drops have been talking about that since his first term.
Yep,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the reset. They've been talking about it forever.
Yeah, a lot of that stuff was on pretty much on point. And yeah, there was a little bit of disinfo in there, but it got a bad rap with everybody's they said this date was going to happen and this is going to there were no dates that were saying other than the first post talking about Hillary Clinton getting arrested on that date, which did she? I don't know. Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. Who knows? But yeah, the reset is coming and that's what it's about.
She did.
Well, do you guys remember that you ever remember seeing the video where she was at the 9/11? It was like a 9/11 memorial, and then she gets the story was that she felt faint, and then she went and had a medical issue, and then 20 minutes later, her body double comes out of Chelsea's apartment, like, "Oh hey, I'm fine, guys, what's up?" But some people were like, "Wait, did she get helped into there, or was she dragged into van?"
She had a really bad body double. Her body double was like short, fat, squatty, and she's short, fat, squatty, but not as. It was like, that's so pathetic. That's right out there. Anybody can see that, and it was. You did have a.
What do you guys think?
She did have a double.
What do you guys think here? I'll let you guys look at the footage. So people have noticed it looks like, and again, if you were severely dehydrated and to the point where you're collapsing, then your toes would kind of dig into the ground. You know what I mean? Like you're not going to be walking, so to speak. So I'll turn the sound off. So she had apparently fainted or whatever. They pulled up the medical deal here, and then this is her getting into the car. Some people said they thought she had handcuffs on, but I'm like, I think her hands are in front. Well, actually, it looks like her left hand's in the back for sure. Do you help somebody like that if you're in a medical issue like that? She had her hands behind her back for sure.
Typically, no.
That's an adrenochrome reaction.
So when you do arrest somebody, you do have you do have the decision to handcuff someone on the front or the back, but it's also a policy of the department or the agency, and it's also dependent on the officer, the agent, whoever it is. But also, if it's a high value individual, sometimes they don't handcuff them at all. They're just surrounded by law enforcement agents. And
I think she was just freaking right there. I got caught.
Yeah,
Watch
and
the
I
toes.
do remember this video, and a gentleman with
Because she's not having a medical, because the other guy would have been all over her other side.
well, no, what I was saying is that a gentleman with a cowboy hat had told me that she was arrested. So that's when I first heard about it. So if that's the case, then I only until I get further information, I only could just assume is what's what until there's any actual information.
Tisk. Well, what do you think though, guys?
I think she's been on a short leash the whole time.
Yeah,
She could have been hanging out. She could have been hanging out with Kamala Harris before she went into the van.
Either that or Kamala and Oprah ducked back into the building.
Well, you know why it's weird to me? Because like I can show you clearly right here. It looks to me, because you can see her hand pop up. So I'm gonna go on record of
the
saying
woman behind her holding her one arm.
She's holding that one arm, but that left arm is 100% behind her back, and I think the right arm is in front of her. But then the right arm does go back, and I don't think she's handcuffed because we see separation coming like right here. I'll show you. So you see the hand on the left, right, just barely over there, and then it goes down.
Why don't we just call her and ask her? Right?
You call her and ask her. But look, so right here comes the other hand, and no, now it looks like the hand is behind, but it's down lower. But then it looks like it separates because that left hand stays where it is, and the right hand looks like it moves out to the front. You see that right there?
Yep.
So yeah, I would think, every time I look at it, I can come back with a different thing. Like, yeah, maybe it was a medical thing. But looking at this again now, the way that she's holding her, like, if you were dehydrated to that point, would you be sitting there with your hand behind your back for any reason? I don't see how that would be comfortable.
You wouldn't be standing there in front of the other two like she is, and the one's got her arms all over her.
Well, with severe dehydration,
she's got her arm.
with severe dehydration.
Go ahead, man.
Yeah, with severe dehydration, you also have cramping. Your potassium's low. Your salt intake's low. So your body's going to have cramping and sorts of stuff going on. So it's going to be terribly hard for you to even be walking, let alone even speaking.
I think that looks like 4 or 5 Xanax with box wine.
A couple boxes of wine.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Bill,
Well,
give me the box wine.
Jeff, I don't
got
know.
one. Yeah, I got one for Jeff here.
Oh, go ahead.
Really quick. Have you heard news? Because I know it used to be one of our favorite topics, which was Mr. Fauci. His number 2 is under hearings right now.
Yeah, I think he was getting arrested actually. That was fantastic. There was a clip from RFK Jr. talking about how kind of dead to rights they had this guy for hiding. He was hiding information. He was being coached on how to basically create government secrets that were unfindable, unable to be unearthed. And I'm assuming they unearthed them, and then they're like, "Hey, you can't do this. Like this is very much not acceptable." And it's all in relation to the pandemic. So this is getting up
Huge.
closer to Dr. Death, Dr. Fauci over there.
The pendulum
Love to
is
see it.
swinging. The pendulum is swinging, folks.
Well, speaking of there, Jeff, Ken Silverhair posts out there is a quote related case listed on the docket. It's under seal, so we don't know who it is, but it does look like there are others who either have been or are going to be charged here. So that looks like a good thing, right? Indictment, order to seal case, notice of related case, order to unseal indictment, initial appearance. So Dazik, Hans Menchie here says, Dazik is the co-conspirator here. His indictment should be next. I didn't think we'd ever see it, but accountability for the COVID origin cover-up has finally arrived. So does it say it in here? Company 1, co-conspirator 1, resident of New York. That is huge. And I know a lot of people, especially probably absolutely everybody watching the show here, is wanting to see that lying son of a bitch go to jail or, pop. With all due respect, Armando, you don't know what you're talking about. I'm sorry, Mr. Senator.
Okay.
You don't know. It's with all due respect, Senator, you're a horse's ass. You don't know what you're talking about. I mean, Rand Paul had him dead to rights the whole time, and that's all his response was. With all due respect, Senator, you just don't know what you're talking about. And, I didn't shut anything down. Oh, really? So this is, I'm loving this. I am absolutely loving it. Mike?
Well, with Fauci, he was funded the entire time, pre-COVID, during, when everything was happening, and post-COVID was being funded. He's being funded by Obama, being funded by other departments and agencies within the federal, organization. And
Menagerie.
oh yeah, and so it's not just Fauci that was being funded at the same time and being paid. Let's say there was a team, right? Fauci is the one under him. You had Gates. Gates was on the team that funding, the money was being sent to. So there's an extensive monetary level of funding that was going towards that, to where you had Gates, Fauci, and quite a few others that were on there that have been funded from pre 2012 to during COVID and post COVID. I guess you could say post 2022, 2023. That funding continued until it was stopped.
Maybe Gates is the one that's under sealed.
Oh, that would be great.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah,
Wouldn't it?
weren't these jerk offs making, I'm just going off a story off of memory, but was he not making money as well off of some
Yes.
certain patents? So it's
Yes.
Oh yeah. And remember, take into account too that for every, whether it was real or whether it was not, because I was a prime example. Every COVID case that was recorded, the hospital will get anywhere between $23,000 to $24,000 per case.
It went up over here in
30,000.
Texas, California, New York would go up to 50, 60,000.
Yeah.
There you go.
Depending on where you lived. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But also with the deaths, the hospital, and because I working in this, working on it, the hospital administration, the administrators would get what you would call a kickback or a little pocket deal as well. And so that's why your hospital administrators at the time were making millions and millions of dollars, while your nurses and doctors on the floor, working to save everyone's life, were, just getting brutalized and, dying from, trying to help and save people's lives, while you had the administrators, doing, oh, thank you guys. Thank you, nurses. We want to show you our appreciation. So here's a pizza party. We're going to give you guys a pizza party.
Yeah.
And, it's just very, very sadistic in a way, you know. And I remember one time, you know, working up up north in the Silicon Valley, San Francisco area, while my wife was working COVID at a hospital up there. The one hospital administrator was previously driving around in a BMW, you know, when we first got up there. And, you know, I'm very, you know, I watch everything that goes on. And it was about a month and a half later, they decided to have a big party for all the staff, a big thank you for all the hard work. And the dude shows up in a Bentley, and brand new Bentley. He's telling everyone he paid for it all cash. And it's just so egregious. And I remember, and it's ingrained in my memory, just the looks on the nurses and doctors' faces, and not even just the nurses and doctors, but even the, you know, the regular medical staff, you know, helping, you know, just how sadistic and sad it was, you know, for everyone to go through everything that we were going through. And, you know, and here comes Mr. I'm not going to name him, but rolls up in a Bentley, you know, oh, I got your pizzas, you know, you want to pull them out. just, yeah, just, I don't even want to say the word, you know what it is. So
showed the lowest of the low. I mean, a lot of these people, you know, and even just local stuff like with the toilet paper, people hoarding toilet paper and just, you know, just so they would have it, but they didn't consider, you know, a lot of people were me, right? So if you go there and, oh, let me get 6 rolls of toilet paper. All right, that'll do you for a week or so. Do you need, you know, 10 cases of toilet paper or paper towels? So like that's just a really small, you know, piece of it. But that, and I'm just literally pulling the stuff as we go here. Anthony Fauci used USAID to steal millions of taxpayer dollars for funding the Wuhan lab in China to create COVID-19, you know, whatever that is, and then boom, jaw-dropping crackdown. Small business administrator Kelly Loeffler just dropped the hammer. 111,600 California borrowers have been suspended over $8.6 billion in suspected PPP and EIDL fraud from the COVID era. California abused the system. So many people did.
Everybody.
Oh, yeah.
Well, not us. Not us, right?
Yeah, we went to work, dude. We went to work.
Exactly. Thank you. Yeah, thank you.
You know,
Like
there was
Walking
one
Dead.
there was one good person that I actually could say that turned away the PPP loans, and that was Patrick Bet-David. You know, he said no to it, and he said no. You know, we don't need that. You know, we have the money we have, and we will work with what we got. And I give him, props for that. You know that he knew what was going on. Yeah, you know,
Really
people.
good guy.
Yeah, very, very, very good guy.
I can definitely read that off of him. I have a very uncanny ability to read people, especially if I can see you. I can see right through your facade if you're a bullshitter. I don't know. That's my gift since birth. But so we still got like another at least 20 minutes too. But Jeff, I know you said you had some maybe some stuff you wanted to discuss or whatever. So yeah, let's get into that for sure.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, this crowd I'd really like to share with you and your crowd, because there's also at the end something I have no idea about, but maybe some of you guys would know. So
sure.
There's in the culture, I've been a gamer since I was 4 years old. Okay, so gaming has been a very big hobby of mine, and it has grown exponentially to the point that it's like a huge part of culture. And a lot of people, especially in the older ages, don't even quite realize how big it is. Like, they don't understand how much money and influence is in gaming. It like surpasses TV shows. It surpasses movies at this point. And it's just a very big thing. So part of my show and the things that I do is covering culture, current events, and conspiracy theories. And culture, a big chunk of that, I tie some gaming into it. Now, one thing that's taking off right now is this new game called Pragmata. So I don't know if you've heard of it, and I'd love to be able to share my screen if that's okay.
Yeah, you can. Let me just pop you in here and make sure. Yep, there you go.
Okay, so let me see if it lets me share number 3 with sound. Okay, hopefully that works.
Looks like it's coming up, and
Okay,
bing. Yeah,
so
I
you
got
have
a
this scene.
robot and a little girl model, it looks like.
Right. Yeah. So there's this. The game is basically, and I'll show a couple of little clips of it, but it is a guy who's in space and his pragmata companion, which is basically an android AI based like little girl. And so it is very much driving like the instinctual protective like father-daughter relationship. And it's in a way that a lot of people are not used to in gaming. And so it's kind of taken off as this huge thing with a lot of viral connections. And so there was two things I want to show. First, there is this reaction from this female gamer, and because, you know, we got the whole feminism bug, I hate kids, whatever. And then you see something like this, and it's like the factory reset gets pushed. So I'll play this.
Need audio.
Audio's not coming?
Nope.
Okay, hang on. Let me, that's
Might
kind
just
of
need to-
important.
Yeah, you just got to reshare it again.
Let me go.
Sometimes, even though you click the
here.
button and people think I'm lying, but I literally heard you say with sound and you clicked it. So sometimes
I
even if
did
you click
click
it, yeah, sometimes if you do, it doesn't work. But
Okay, so let me see. Where's my
Oh,
Zoom?
you basically just kind of have to click stop sharing and then just do the reshare over again. Unless
Do
you
I
already
go
did.
return to meeting? Did I lose my
Should have like a floating
hub?
menu.
Oh, okay. I see it over here. Yeah, that it just shrunk when I started doing that. So unshare. Let me see if I could stop share.
Or I could start sharing, which would stop your sharing. There we go. Hold on, I'll do that, and then you can reshare over me. There you go, and then boom. Now you should be able to. Oh, you're still sharing. Yeah, you got like a floating. It'd be like a floating window. There you go.
Just looking for a stop share button somewhere here. It's got to be on here.
Interesting.
That says share. Where's not unshare? Stop sharing. Come on, buddy.
I thought when I shared it would stop your from sharing. Let me see here. Never had this problem happen before. Share sound. I'm gonna do this here again. So I'm sharing my screen with you guys again. If I stop it, it should have played. You want to try that? Click the play just to see if it does the sound.
Is there a sound there? If not, I can just send you the link in the chat right there, and then you can pull up those.
Yeah, you could do that. But like I said,
Okay.
there should be like a floating menu. That's like red
Very
and says
odd.
stop. But yeah, just put it in the chat. For Zoom would probably be the easiest way, and then I'll just pull it right
Okay.
up.
So
Ding,
I'll
ding,
give
ding.
you this one and then the other one. So chat. Okay. So that one is
Perfect. Here we go. All right, there's the first one. So just play this whole thing there. Ding. Go. All right, here we go. Make sure I shared right.
She is so cute, and I don't even like kids, but I like her.
Hugh, thanks for talking to me all the time.
Did she give me a gift?
Ta-da!
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it. It's for you.
Oh, what do you mean? I love it. It's so
Half bad, kid.
But she hung it up. She hung it up. It's so adorable. If she dies, I'm throwing my PC out
think I
the
just canceled
window. She is so
Okay.
cute, and I don't even like it.
Oh wow, they get some serious attachments to it. And what's that older game that it was like I think it was like a robot with a little girl too. Was it like Half-Life or something like that years ago?
I'm not sure about. I'm not sure. I can try again if you think it'll work the second time.
Yeah, give it a shot. Let me see. I'll stop sharing here and go right ahead.
Okay. Got share sound. It is on.
Boom, boom, ba-doo,
Okay.
doo. You want to just check
Sure.
that one real quick? No sound again.
Still no sound? That is very odd.
I don't know if you have maybe multiple monitors or something like that. Maybe pulling off the wrong monitor or something like that.
Do have multiple monitors, but don't know why that would be.
Zoom's always fun for throwing a curveball at you. If you want to send me the other link or whatever, I can play it off.
Yeah. Let me play. So that first one should be that one. The second one, yeah, I'll play is right here, and I definitely think you guys are gonna like this one. Okay.
Pragmata. Here we go.
Start at like a minute and 20 seconds because we don't have to
Okay.
do the whole thing.
Let's see. Whoa, what happened? My share went away. Here we go. There we go. Start at 120-ish.
There you go.
I decide my own way. And I'm going to Earth with you.
We're a team, right? A whole new life. If you're ready.
Okay, then let's go. Together.
Watch the end.
I'm gonna get a better look.
Hello, we are Cabin, your one-stop companion for all things shelter.
Right here.
Capcom.
So
Very
can you pull that other clip, the one that the first link I sent you?
Yep.
This went super viral all over the internet, and there was a bunch of versions of this, different people doing the same thing, but it's pretty much the same theme. So go ahead when you're ready.
Okay. Wait, is this the one I think we played this one already.
But I like her.
Yeah, I didn't
Thanks
finish
for
it.
talking
It's
to me
the
all the
end.
time.
Did she give me a gift?
Ta-da!
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it.
I gotta skip through her fake crying because she was bugging me.
Up! It's so adorable. If she dies, I'm throwing my PC out the window. She is so cute, and I don't even like kids. But
That's it.
She's so
Okay.
cute. I don't like kids.
Right. And so that's kind of the thing. It's you got a bunch of people who basically grew up in this like TikTok brain, and no one's having kids. This was made by Japan, right? Who is facing the worst birth rate crisis. And so they're saying that this is like a psyop from the Japanese government to try and get people to have families. And the effect has been very interesting because it came out of absolutely nowhere. So it just like it went from 0 to super mega viral in a bunch of different places. And so one thing I went to the boards, the Q boards, because of that. I noticed with that trailer, I was like, that's very weird that they dropped the date that it would come out and then crossed it off and then switched it to 17 for the 17th. And so I actually went to the 24th, and there are 5 posts from April 24th, the date that was crossed off, that say, listen very carefully to statements made by Joe D. It's happening. And then there's a link to a YouTube video in all 5 of these posts, but that video doesn't exist anymore. And I'm like, what was in that video? I have no idea, but that's like a big hit right there.
Oh, that's the one where Joe DeGeneva is talking about a hero. Actually, I played it the other day. he was talking about the hero, Admiral Mike Rogers, who was the hero of this whole situation because he knew that they were spying on President Trump, and then he therefore went to Trump Tower and told them, like, hey, you guys are being spied on, so you better move your operation about, which is also interesting for two reasons, because, you know, Joe D. Geneva there, as was mentioned, Joe D., he was hired back on in, I think it was April 18th or 20th, somewhere around there. But interesting, those posts are around April. And to your point about this one, I thought what was interesting about this, so I was expecting, what I was expecting here was April 28th, 29th, 30th. Sorry, we're going to be later, right? Like, wait, why would you write sorry and then you make the date earlier? So that is weird, right? That is very weird to me. It's
really weird. So it struck me, and I'm like, this is something I got to look at here. Like, what the hell is going on? And I have 5 kids, so I'm very pro children. You know, I have no issue with the children. But I have noticed, I mean, we're like, I'm the oldest, my wife is the oldest, and in our group, you know, our like friends, our family, you know, the younger people, there are whole chunks of family where it's like nothing. 0 kids, like absolutely nothing. Like people who had 4 kids and all 4 of their kids have no kids and they're all in their 30s. Like, yeah, we have a problem. Like, it's a giant issue. And so
I can tell you what the problem is.
Go ahead.
Not enough sex.
No, no.
Hormones are jacked. Yeah, that's right.
No.
Go ahead.
No. And Jeff nailed it right on the head, right? They're in their 30s. They can barely afford an apartment on their own.
True.
Right? So they got to get a roommate. And then if they get a girlfriend and they move in together, why in the world would you want to have a kid and bring it into this world, considering the way things are? Well, maybe not so much now, but beforehand, right? Where you couldn't afford anything.
I don't know, Armando. Great Depression, they were knocking out 8, 10, 12 kids.
I get that, but the mentality back then was a lot different.
So it's the mentality is the problem.
I think
there you go.
A problem with the mentality of family.
It's the mentality, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah, it needs to be recalibrated. People need to know that, look, you can go into your 30s and 40s, don't have kids. Oh, it was such a smart decision. No, it wasn't. That's the one decision the world doesn't make for you. Doesn't have anything to do with it. If you want to place money and ways and means, you'll never have enough to have a child, most people. It either happens or you don't. And there's been a good noetic virus thrown in there in getting the best and brightest not to breed. And we need that.
Mm-hmm.
True. And I pulled it up here from 22. Elon Musk, who posts about this stuff frequently, population collapse due to low birth rate.
He's helped the population himself.
Yeah, was he get 12 kids, all named, all starting?
Close to 15 now, I think.
Is it? Oh my, yeah, he stays busy, and I don't think he's married to any of them, right?
That's his chism. That's his chism.
I mean, let's be honest.
If you had that many, if you have that kind of money.
I'll say, if you had that much money, how many kids would you have? Right, and then you're right though on the other side of it, right? Like if you started doing it, like no amount of money.
My wife into having 3 or 4 more wives, but otherwise, I'm not a Mormon, by the way. So
no Mormon stuff, but yeah, no, that's very interesting, Jeff. And I can't, you know, I just don't understand why they would do. Oh, hey, it's coming out, you know, April 24th. Sorry, wait, no, it's gonna be the 20th. It's gonna be the 17th now. So yeah, that is super weird. Like, why would it do that? You know, or unless was that the release date for a long time, and then they just said, hey, we're going to get it out early, which, by the way, never happens. You know as well as I do. I'm waiting for GTA 6 for like the last, 12, 13, 14 years.
Yeah.
So,
and the asteroid's coming before GTA 6.
Unfortunately, it seems that way. All right, guys. So anything else that is pressing that we need to get off the table here today? Because unfortunately, due to my moving scenario here, the next couple of weeks are going to be probably the most stressful parts of my life in the last many years. So But
tomorrow the world comes to an end, and
Yes.
all this doesn't mean anything, so we're all good.
I don't got to pack up the rest of the stuff.
Nah, don't worry about it.
They could wait for the weekend.
Careful,
No
careful
problem.
with that. Careful for that,
We're
or
gonna
you may have to answer to the Coca-Cola company.
That's right. Oh, I better be quiet.
Oh my God! Somebody you mentioned something racism earlier, and I just thought this was really funny. This black dude was doing some comedy, and he was talking about like black bears, and he's like, black bears are this, and if you go after a black bear and you make yourself strong, he might go away from you. And he goes, you know what the most violent kind of bears are out there? And everybody's like, polar bears. And he's like, oh, you don't have a problem calling them black bears and brown bears, but when they're talking about the most violent bears, they got to be polar bears. They can't be white bears. I just thought that was really funny. I'm like, that was a good one. So yeah. Anything else though pressing that we need to get off just to make sure, guys? So sounds like we're good here. And again, numerous times, and I would I absolutely am thanking all of you guys who have donated to the GoFundMe that is in the description box. You guys know for years you've never heard me ask for $1 for myself, but I will ask for my friends and good people that need it more than, say, I don't know, multimillionaire actors and whatnot. So we do appreciate any help that you guys have gotten and given, and we do appreciate the prayers going forward very much so. So thank you for that. Yeah.
And Renee is now on a heart transplant list. So I think
That's good.
the audience the other day heard it. I'm sure a lot are overlapping, but I've been blown away, and been so grateful to so many for what they've done. So if you can do a few hundred more a piece, that would be extremely. No, it needs to be done. We're in a critical point right now, and look, there has not been a better audience out there, period, than yours, and yeah, it's needed. Transplants are no joke. Mike and Renee are going through all they've got to go through to get her situated on that, and yeah, we're going to see a life saved and a family saved, a husband and wife saved, and no, I won't accept anything less. And your audience has been amazing, simply amazing, and all of it has been more than appreciated. There's no words for it, honestly. There are things in the English language just no words for, and expressing gratitude for that, it can only be expressed that way.
Absolutely, and amen to that. That's the right way to say, and the right way to think is a positive mindset, because we do have wonderful, wonderful folks that are in our movement here. And like I've mentioned numerous times, that basically whenever I ask folks for prayers, those are the most engaged posts. So I'm very appreciative of that, guys. So power in prayers in numbers absolutely works, and so please continue to do so. I'm just going to thank a few people here on Pilled, and then we can release the class. Matrix Codebreaker, my co-host from Sunday. Drop the Can says, what up, broski? What's up, my man? Appreciate you. And then Moonbaby0437 with a cookie says, what up, fam-a-lam? Fam-a-lam-a ding-dong. Thank you for that. And then Due Diligence with the Can. No message on there, but thank you. And then Sean Joe, Space Squad member, 2 cookies in a cookie followed by a can, both by Sean Joe. Thank you for that, Sean Joe. And the last 2, last but not least, are Trump Red Pill 1 with the can, says cheers. And the very last one is Trump Red Pill 1 with the can. So I do appreciate that, guys. And I'm releasing the scratchings over there. We are no longer on D Live. And I think that's about it. Let's see. So yeah, let me see. So off day tomorrow, guys. I'll be back on the roundtable, as Jeff saw the other day, or Jeff's wife saw the other day, with the guys at 2 p.m. Always a great show. And then I'll be back for Table of Titans at 9:30 p.m. Eastern. Jeff, could you do me a favor and drop your link in the Zoom chat, and I can add that to the description box, and I'll pop it into the chat while the outro is playing so folks can find you as well. And Jeff or Jeff and Armando, you want to let the folks know when the next time you guys have a show is?
Yep.
Armando.
Mine is going to be this coming Thursday, and it's going to be exposing NGOs and how they really work. You'll be surprised.
Wow.
So that'll be the next drop this coming Thursday, exposing NGOs.
Thursday, what time was it?
Thursday, 7 p.m. from 7 to 10. It's going to piss a lot of people off. I'm just going to put it out there. But
Love it.
What it is.
All right, Jeff, how about you, sir? I'm going to put your channel link in there right now for the folks. But when's the next show?
Appreciate that.
No problem.
My next show is tomorrow, 12 p.m. Eastern time. I'm live 9 times a week, and I'm exclusively on Rumble. So that's where you can find me on Thoughtcast is the channel.
You playing any video games on any of those live streams?
Yeah. So I have 5 days a week. Monday through Friday is my day show. And so that's where I cover the current events, the conspiracies and the culture. And then Wednesday night, I do deep thoughts. So I'll have like kind of a variety. Depends. Sometimes I'm doing gun. I took pistols and lasers and I rigged them up to a projector and was playing like Duck Hunt on live stream, but with real guns. So no one does that. And then and then I have a couple of streams. Tuesday afternoon I'll do solo gaming, and then Friday night I'll link up with other Rumble streamers and do some multiplayer gaming. And Sunday night I just do like catch up everything that happened over the weekend with the news. So I'm on a ton.
Nice.
But that's my channel, Thoughtcast. Yeah, 9 times I go live.
Hell yeah. All right. That is in the chat, guys. I'm going to add it to the description box of all the videos that you guys are watching now. So you guys can go follow Armando and Jeff as well. And just so you know, Jeff, going forward, I do have Arc Raiders, Wreckfest 2, and the latest Battlefield as well. So definitely link up on any of those going forward. But to Ghost, Mike, Armando, and Jeff, great show. I appreciate you guys. Like I said, you guys can catch us. Just look out on the social medias for the next one. We should be live again. Some of the folks on this one. In any event, I will be live on noon on Friday with whoever in here can make it. We'll see you then. But thank you guys, and thank you to the mods out there. And again, thank you guys for all your prayers and donations. It is greatly appreciated. And as I say at the end of every show, and truly do mean, I do appreciate each and every one of you wonderful world patriots out there for tuning in. And until that next one, and remember, Rumble and Pill get 2 outros, and YouTube only gets 1. Until that next video, thumbs up, like, and subscribe. Peace.
Hello, guys. Something special is happening in here. That's right. It's brackets and jackets. Bringing it back for brackets and jackets. Special Epstein Island edition. That's right, folks. Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, the man with the island, which is suspiciously close to Haiti. That's right. You see this man, Jeffrey Epstein, is funding lots of people. He's funding lots of people on the street to make sure his shit doesn't get out. That's right. They want the record sealed. And they're paying a lot of people. Epstein's paying a lot of people. Oh boy. For one, he's got a whole Mossad media matrix in America. And I would bet you anything that Alex Jones is one of them. Prove me wrong. That's right, Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the portal. Cappy's in the building with songs about Epstein. It's Breakfast Jackets Epstein edition. Guys, I had some epiphanies today. I had some real big epiphanies about some guys. A big network of guys and spies and lies and liars. All right, they think about this for a minute, okay? The guy in Portland, the scientist that just got busted for producing CP, that guy is 1 degree of separation away from Epstein. Epstein, the investor that lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. I know a guy who lives in West Palm Beach, Florida as well. Investor as well. Also involved as well. And all is not well with these guys. The Florida boys, the Glow boys, the Scott Israels of the world. You see, Epstein is Hillary Clinton. And Epstein is Haiti. And Epstein is a big network of media assets. By the way, did you know that Steve Bannon was going to that guy for money? Also, Epstein is Epstein Oprah. Epstein is Chris Tucker. You remember him. Epstein is also Kevin Spacey. Epstein is also Prince Andrew. Epstein is also... Who else is Epstein? Who else is Epstein? Tell me. You guys know? Who else is Epstein? Is Epstein Big Pharma? Is Epstein Bryan Singer? Is Epstein Naomi Campbell? Yep, all of the above. All of the above. Who is Epstein? Epstein is the keystone of a whole motherfucking matrix. And once you pull it out, it all falls down. Dersh was there too. That's right, we're dropping red pills every day. And red pills in the best kind of way. This is brackets and jackets for the denizens of islands.